Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day?
Hello everyone, my name's Team Let's Talk Crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is July 28th, 2025. And they called me a madman, alright? I'm not saying that everything that I said went exactly as predicted, but it's important, and this is an important point that I'm going to make now. Please understand the importance of high time frame analysis and the accuracy of high time frame analysis, and how much more important it is, and how much more accurate it is, and how much more reliable it is than small time frame analysis. Right? My high time frame analysis hasn't changed for a very long time. Midterm, my medium time frame analysis also quite consistent. Small time frame analysis, I would liken it to how something happens, not what. How something happens isn't that important. Yes, you want to be as precise as you can, but if that fails, then it fails. But you can still win with good high time frame analysis. And I would encourage everyone in our space, my colleagues and others that are interested, to really rely upon the high time frame analysis first and foremost. So yeah, with that said, let's talk about what Bitcoin is doing, what the rest of the crypto market is doing, and what can we expect at this point in time. Where is this dump going to in Bitcoin, in altcoins? And why am I so excited about it? I'm not excited about it because I called it. I'm excited about it because it is quite literally based off of my analysis, based off of my understanding of the market. It is quite literally the final retracement before the major start of alt season. Alt season has already started, but we haven't seen any really big moves from alt season. The big move comes after this retracement. So if all that sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. Hope everyone's having a great day. Let's get into it as per usual with Bitcoin on the 4-hourly time frame. So when I talk about high time frame analysis, I quite literally mean that. And certain people just don't get it, and not everybody has the patience for this. A lot of people, right, casuals, people in the space, they want what's happening yesterday, what happened this morning, right? They're stuck on the hourly time frame, all the intraday time frames, and they throw parties for whatever happens intraday, and that's what they base their analyses on. Okay, but any serious analysis starts on the higher time frame. And I've said on this channel for quite some time that Bitcoin, for the past 250 days, you can celebrate going from 90K to 120K, but you're still stuck in a channel. And if you understand that, it's cool, but it's not that important in the larger scheme of things. If you understand that for the past 250 days, and I say this understanding that, Bitcoin at 120K is a big deal, but technically speaking, nothing has happened in Bitcoin for 250 plus days, as it's been constrained to this channel that you see in blue, right? It's almost 300 days, up and down and up and down and up and down. My call on Bitcoin saying that, right, we're likely to dump, right, and forget my target, my ultimate target, but the idea that you're likely to dump is first and foremost a direct result or understanding of the fact that you're constrained to this high time frame channel, and you're at the top of the channel. And once you hit the top of the channel, which is resistance, right, this is almost 300 days resistance, the best case scenario is coming to the midline. The worst case scenario is breaking the channel altogether. Okay, so that's it. That's that simple, right? It's simple, but it's not easy. What's not easy about it? Well, try to plan anything 300 days out. Try to plan anything and wait for 250 plus days. It's very complicated. And to have to contextualize all this price action, right? You're gaining and losing money potentially here, and always having to frame it within the higher time frame context. That's pro stuff. Not everybody's built for it. Not everybody's interested in doing that. A lot of people who come and watch these updates on YouTube, they don't understand. They still don't understand. I literally repeat this every single episode, or most every single episode, and still people are saying, oh, ha, 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 you called Bitcoin topping at 90K. Understand, it's been topped. This is a top. This is a local market top. Everything here is a local market top. You can consider anything between 80K and 120K as technically being within the same range. Whether you're at the bottom of the range, the middle of the range, or the top of the range, it doesn't matter, technically speaking. Obviously, it matters in your portfolio, but that's what I'm talking about. And this is what we're seeing here. We're seeing bearishness at the top of an almost 300-day channel, and the next likely move is down. Now, where to? Like I said a few moments ago, the most bullish thing, the best case scenario, if you're a Bitcoin bull right now, right? And when you say bull and bear, be careful. It always has to do with your time frame, always has to do with the scope of your analysis. It has nothing to do necessarily with generalizing. So if you're a Bitcoin bull in the immediate short term, your most bullish scenario is coming to around 90K and finding support at 90K. Okay? I've said that before because this is the midline of a 250 plus day channel, almost 300-day channel at this point. Retesting that as support, then going from there is one of the most bullish things you could ever do. That basically reclaims this whole channel and you can move on from it. But what's more than not likely to happen is that we come down, find temporary support at 100K, bounce cursorily, temporarily from 100K, and proceed to break the channel all the way down to my target of 58 to 60K. I have literally been saying this for over a year because it hasn't happened in over a year. People have been taking shots, right? People, imagine this. Nobody has seen anything substantive, but people don't understand technical analysis. People don't understand price action to the point where they see this as, see, it's bullish. You're still stuck within the confines of the channel. Understanding that puts you ahead of, I would say, 85% of the market, maybe 90% of the market. 90% of the market doesn't understand the very simple thing that I just expounded on. That you're in a channel and you're not bullish until you break the channel. And we all know there are ways to break channels. You don't do them willy-nilly. You do not break channels at their resistance. You break them at their midlines. Most people don't understand that. And I'm talking people who've made 8+ figures in crypto. People with massive accounts. People who have been wildly successful trading. Trading success does not necessarily equal market aptitude, or what I would say price action, or market aptitude, market literacy, aptitude of literacy, or whatever, you know what I'm saying. Just because you're successful at trading, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can read a market. And I would go as far to say as I would go as far in saying that those two things aren't necessarily, they're correlated, but they're not as correlated as people think. I've seen horrible analysts be absolute wizards at trading, and vice versa. the best analysts with a horrible track record in trading. I still don't understand. This is why this is one of the most difficult businesses that I've ever seen. Okay, very, 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 very difficult, very challenging. All right. Anyway, so that's Bitcoin. I'm still seeing us coming down to the 100K mark, bouncing temporarily to around 110, 111, and then coming down. Again, that move that we're in right now is likely a 15, 16% move. That's important. Keep that figure in mind as we look at altcoins. Now, why am I so excited? I'm not excited because we're going down. Obviously, yeah, sure, I'm in some shorts. You know, the shorts are doing well. But I'm more excited. This 15, 16% drawdown is not necessarily going to, you know, that's not going to buy real estate for me. It's not doing that much. It's good profits, but it's not doing that much. I'm excited about the retracement in altcoins because, as I said in the beginning, looking at this TOTAL3, the TOTAL3, remember, is a great representation of the altcoin market at large. Looking at this chart right here, it's very likely that this move down here is the last move before that move. I'm really excited about that move. I'm really excited about when we get down here and then rocket up. And once we rocket up, we retrace, we keep going and we keep going and we keep going. Alt season has started, but the big moves in alt season across the board have yet to show. That is going to be a big move, okay? And so if Bitcoin's coming 15 to 16% down, right? Altcoins, and why, for those of you who don't know, why is this the level that I'm looking at for retracement? Well, it's kind of obvious. You're looking at previous resistance of multiple months. You see this right here. You had 55 days where altcoins were under this resistance right here. They finally popped out, and, you know, market principle 101, market principles 101, one of the basic principles in price action is that resistance broken is retested as support before continuation. So that is exactly why I'm keen on this level of retracement right here in altcoins. If you measure that from where we're at, if Bitcoin has to go 15, 16%, altcoins in general are going 20%, and that makes sense. It's a little more than Bitcoin's going, okay? But that 20% should be the final retracement before a larger move up. So for those that are saying, but alt season, yes, it is still alt season, and it's going to be crystal clear that it's alt season once we get that 20% retracement. And that this Bitcoin going down to 100K is fuel for this final retracement. And at that point, if I'm correct, right where we get, when we get to this point, what we're going to see, what we should see, is altcoins absolutely demolishing Bitcoin. Because, right, remember, the larger high time frame analysis has always been Bitcoin's topped right now, and it's at the top of a 250 to 300 day channel, and its targets all the way down at 58 to 60. How can altcoins be bullish or entering the most visible phase of their alt season in that scenario if Bitcoin's not even close to 58 to 60K? 100K is not 58 to 60K. Well, that's why we're in alt season. That's the definition of alt season. Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down, but not as much. Okay? So stay with me here. There is some subtlety. If I'm correct in what I've just said, then this retracement of about 20% in altcoins should yield a rise in Bitcoin dominance. Okay? A slight increase in Bitcoin dominance, right? And we're going to look at Bitcoin dominance in just a second. But once we hit this level, Bitcoin dominance should plummet. What does that mean? What does that mean practically? That means altcoins will absolutely demolish Bitcoin. So despite Bitcoin retracing and then going up slightly, altcoins are going to go up a lot more, then retrace slightly, go up a lot more, then retrace slightly. They are still going to be pumping and retracing in unison, but altcoins are going to be absolutely dominating Bitcoin when they're pumping. So let's look at the Bitcoin dominance to finish out this analysis, right? On the hourly time frame. First, let me show you something. So if you follow my work, you know I talk a lot about A-B basing theory, okay? And that's from Ralph Nelson Elliott's work, and I've sort of fleshed it out. And the part that I've expounded on is that you need 3 pairs of A-B bases before completing a base, before completing a consolidation, okay? So here you can very clearly see on the hourly time frame of the Bitcoin dominance chart. Bitcoin dominance came down to this level and put in 1 pair of flat corrections, or 1 corrective pair, okay? This is your second corrective pair. It's a zigzag. Here, 5 waves up, 3 waves down. This is your last corrective pair, and it's a flat correction. Do you see that? There's 1, 2, 3 pairs, then you go. The consolidation happened here. And this is the beauty of AB-based theory, because in Wyckoff, every consolidation is treated more or less as an orthogonal channel. And that's fine. Most of them are orthogonal channels. But where AB-based theory, you can count AB-based theory in orthogonal channels. But it's hard to look at Wyckoff analysis with these different looking types of consolidations, right? They're different. Consolidations come in many shapes, sizes, and colors. This is not an orthogonal channel. And here we have the benefit of being able to see very clearly that it's complete using AB-based theory. 1, 2, 3. In Wyckoff, you know, it's a little different. So I mean, I'm a huge fan of both, but I think AB-based theory is very, very useful in that respect. It really tells the story there of that consolidation. Now, what are we looking at? For those of you who may not know this chart, we're looking at Bitcoin dominance at the bottom of a channel. And Bitcoin dominance, we said alt season started here, and I still maintain that. Alt season started when Bitcoin dominance started plummeting in a type of impulsive way, in a trending way, right? You can't say alt season happens anytime Bitcoin dominance goes down. Those are just corrective moves. I claim that alt season starts and ends whenever you see trends in a certain direction. So a trending Bitcoin dominance to the downside means the start of alt season to me, and vice versa. And this is the first trend down, and this is the first A, B, C correction up. And this is my target. And this makes sense that it's the target because, look, this channel has been going since January, right? So this is a 7 to 8 month channel that you played in a channel, and now you retest the midline, because we all know channels break from the midline, not from the top, not from the bottom. Once we hit that midline, that's the big move in Bitcoin dominance breaking down, coinciding with the big move in altcoins pumping, right? So that's the big move of alt season, the first big move of alt season upon retest of this 7 to 8 month channel midline retest. So, I mean, this has been the analysis for quite some time. And again, the power of high time frame analysis is really, it's fun. I mean, I look at all kinds of time frames, and I'm not afraid to be wrong. And I go on the hourly time frame, and I make my best guess as to what's happening and how it's happening. But at the end of the day, as traders, as investors, as serious sort of market participants, really put most of your emphasis, your money, your calls on the high time frame moves and those theses. And I think, you know, your win rates will increase, your read accuracy will increase, all that stuff will increase. And have the courage of your convictions to stick by those principles, midline retests of high time frame channels, you know, stuff like that. It just plays out time and time and time again. You know, it's very reliable. So that's all I got. I'm very excited for this. Again, Bitcoin going down 15-16%, altcoins in aggregate going down 20%, and then the party really starts, right? The DJ's coming, right? The party started maybe at 9 p.m., but the cool kids don't get in until 10:30, 11, right? This is the start of the party, 9 p.m. This is 10:30, 11. The cool kids get there, and the party really starts. So that's it. Take care. Like, share, and subscribe if you got value. Consider tipping Venmo, Litecoin, Cash App at the pinned comment below. Consider my crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation service, where I help you identify levels of support and resistance to maximize your portfolio during this alt season, for a select 5 altcoins of your choice that I help you choose, right? Altcoins that are going to sustainably produce gains in this alt season. You can sign up for that at the pinned comment below. Take care, all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
My prevalent time slot, I vocalize too deep to localize. Even when I'm right on the surface, you act surprised how I work this, but I can't lie. Many a good alibi. I'll catch you later.
Visions are vividly enhanced with emphasis and amethyst to develop morale advantages which help us manifest magnanimous. We body vitals like evangelists. So listen when you're dealing with people who be revealing premonitions with precision. At least that's what I'm aiming at for now. I speak the language of the world, meandering throughout the crowd. Used to feel safe to say anything, but now it's a risk. It's hard for me to let go when all I can do is reminisce. Gone like the wind, here's where I begin.